This is the 17th season of Bass Talk Live with your hosts, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pingrat. BTL is brought to you by Lawrence, Bass Cat Boats, APCO, Ducket Fishing, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, X-Zone Lures, Yamagatsu, The Bass Tank, and Denali Rods. BTL coming at you. Good Monday, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where Matt and I are going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Matthew, I must admit, the human body is an amazing mechanical thing, dude.
I have talked to you over the weekend, and I do believe that you have survived an ordeal, but it was It was a good weekend. Your basketball team finished third in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
But
Great
then
job.
following that...
Food poisoning. Not good. And it's kind of running rapid around the team right now. I guess I was the first one that got it.
The hospitality tent.
Oh, my gosh,
did
dude.
you dirty.
Yeah. And it was either chicken or pasta or something. Anyway, it's been like 30 years since I've had food poisoning.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. And I was talking to you off air. It's concerning because based on your injury, you have no taste or smell.
This is correct.
And so you don't know if you're popping a bad shrimp, if you're getting some funky chicken, if maybe, what the amazing human body would normally say, hey, don't swallow that.
I know. And
so you just have to go on sight and texture.
Yeah, so it was like 12:30 in the morning on I-35, and I had to pull over on the way home. So I was real concerned because I thought there was going to be a state trooper, pull over. And
why would you be concerned about that?
Because there aren't people pulling over, throwing up, unless they're drunk.
If the state trooper pulls over and you're yakking and you're like, dude, you're probably dressed in your basketball stuff. You're obviously not drunk.
It was not good. And
anyway.
I'm still not over it. But yeah, it was a great week. Last week, finished third in the Woodward tournament. And really proud of the kids. The kids came out. We're Class 4A, and we beat 2 Class 5A teams.
Congratulations.
So, and the team that we played for the third place game, they had a 6'9" kid, and he was decent, but our sophomore 6'6" kid played really well. Guard play was much better, and we ended up third. So good stuff. But that is really nothing in comparison because I was I had a little bit of flashbacks while we were in the hotel, and I was watching all the coverage of the stuff that was going on in Kentucky and Arkansas,
Tennessee, Illinois.
It was just
insane.
It was horrible, and I have been through personally, 2 of the worst tornadoes in the history of the U.S. The first Moore tornado that came through that recorded the fastest wind speeds in the history of the world, that came through and just absolutely leveled Moore. I was a half a mile from that. And then with the last major tornado that came through here in Moore, we had debris from 50, 60 miles away in our backyard. And, man, the photos, the videos, I really, really feel for all those people and what they are going through right now. Plus, you have so many people out there, they have no idea where their friends and family are. Obviously, it's turned into a recovery situation, but it's just it really bothered me over the weekend to see some of the video that came through on that, because it reminded me of so many things that the people here in Oklahoma went through with both of the more tornadoes that came through here over the last 20 years. So definitely our thoughts are with those people. It went close to Paducah. It went close to Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Yeah, it went through a lot of fishing-rich history areas. Not that has anything to do with the path, but just a lot of people affected by this. And like you, I mean, I was here for the last one. I've been through one in Illinois, and it's not a good deal. Really bad. So hopefully things will continue to improve there, but definitely our thoughts are with all the people in that region. And crazy weather, man. I mean, it's supposed to be almost 80 degrees here tomorrow in Oklahoma. Yeah. In December. Yep. And that's that's part of the issue, me being the weather guy and everything. I was checking that out. But it is what it is. And wow, just amazing video. There was a house, I don't know if you saw this, that was 65 miles away. Wow. That landed where they found it from where the tornado picked it up. Yeah, that's crazy. Insane weather. So, but no, we're gonna kick off this week. Got a good week this week. We're gonna have Billy Egan on here just in a few minutes to talk about an event that he is putting on for A-Mart. That's right. You still call him the man who makes things happen over at One Bass. He's the guy kind of behind the U.S. Open and the, I guess you would say, rebirth of One Bass over the past 10 years. Yeah, absolutely. Would you not? And he's put together the Hog Snatcher benefit. Two topics in a row that I wish we didn't have to talk about. Yeah. For Aaron Martens and everybody out west. So they have a big tournament coming up. I believe it's on Lake Castaius on this weekend. But there's all sorts of ways that you can help the Martens family. A lot of benefits, auctions, tournament details, even if you aren't able to attend. So Billy reached out. I think he might even be on Ike Live coming up this week too tonight with more on it. But he's going to jump on for a quick 5 minutes here to talk a little bit about some of those details, and then a first-time guest on BTL, and he is now a member of the BPT. Yeah, and that would be Dylan Hayes out of Hot Springs, Arkansas. And I don't know this guy. One of the few guys in professional fishing that I don't think either of us really know, but he's had a very upward path. Yeah. Over the past 3 or 4 years. I remember the first time that I really kind of took note was there on Lake St. Clair, where it was that insane FLW tour event. And I think he shared an area with Brad Knight, and they just went out and jacked 25, 26, 27, 28 pounds of smallmouth day after day after day. But a really cool story with Dylan. We'll talk about him moving up to fish the BPT while still fishing the pro circuit. So that'll be on. Billy's supposed to be in the queue right now, so we can talk about the A-Mart benefit. We'll wait on him. Hopefully, and then after Dylan, hopefully we'll have some time, because I wanted. You are fond of lateral sports comparisons with bass fishing. Yes. And I think I've got a pretty valid one with the Heisman Trophy that just went down. We will discuss that hopefully in length, because I think it's a cool concept. We kind of touched on it in the past, but never in a situation that you kind of brought up before the show. So hopefully we'll have time to get into that. As far as tomorrow, we're going to have Jared Littner on tomorrow. We haven't had him on the show for quite some time. There's some changes going on in Mr. Littner's life that we will get into. And then Wednesday, we're calling an audible, just like what we did last week. Day 4 is actually going to be on day 3. Are we taking calls on this one? I don't know. What I thought this was I thought this was kind of the last Uncle Frank show of the year. It will obviously continue into the 2021 season or 2022 season, but I know you've teased some call-ins for Uncle Frank. Now, I know the listeners won't be able to interact, but yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that on Wednesday. We'll do some call-ins, and then December 20th, Mark Jeffrey's the final show. So here's the thing, Mark, and I'll get it for you on air. Yeah. I feel like once a month you need to come on BTL next year. It won't happen until the summer. Why? Because I'm teaching an economics class. Well, here's the thing: we don't have to do the show at 8:30 in the morning because we do that because of your school.
Yeah.
So
We'll
you come on the show once a month?
Yeah. We'll see.
Because we have to keep that. I've gotten inundated with people that are like, "Hey, man, we're super pumped that you're taking over the show. We love it, but like, man, we got to have them involved somehow. It can't just be every now and then."
Yeah, we'll see.
So I'm slowly putting the schedule together, and I would like you to be on BTL once a month, 1 hour a month, Mark.
Maybe.
I mean, you still got skin in the game.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
You can't commit to one time a month.
No, I said yeah, we'll figure something out.
Okay. Hey, look, Billy's here.
Yeah.
And he's got a Christmas tree in the back.
Well, it is that time of the year. Let's go to Billy here real quick. Billy, you there, man?
No.
Yes, you are. I'm glad to see the background that we have. It is much more pleasant.
We put it up yesterday, in between water polo games and everything. Grabbed my daughter, grabbed a tree. She decorated it for me, so we got it up yesterday, and I'm in the holiday spirit.
Very nice.
Your family's into water polo?
Yeah, actually, I played
Wow.
8 years myself, and my son finally, on his own accord, recently decided he wanted to play, and has been playing almost a year now. And they just won a tournament this weekend for U14 boys. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Well, that's cool.
Nice.
All right, we wanted to get you on here, and we opened up the show talking about the tornadoes and stuff we wish we didn't have to talk about. But in the wake of Aaron Martens passing, one of the things that you guys have done is organize the Hog Snatcher benefit. It's actually, you can join that group on Facebook. If you just search it. But wanted to get you on to talk a little bit about what it is. I know it's coming this weekend, how people can get involved even if they can't be there out on the West Coast. Castaic, I believe, is where it's being held.
Lake Casitas, actually.
Casitas.
Two lakes
Dang
two
it.
lakes
I'm
in LA
sorry.
area, or that particular area, called Casitas and Castaic. Castaic is over by the infamous pond that Butch Brown always catches those double digits at. And Casitas is over in Ojai near Ventura County, closer to the coast, Santa Barbara area. So both those lakes were lakes that Carol and Aaron started out fishing their early careers as teams together. And both of them have a lot of meaning to the Martens family. But Casitas has a event area out there, big grass area, and lots of camping and so forth that really suited this type of an event better than Castaic would. So the event is Saturday, December 18th at Casitas Lake from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Anybody's welcome to stop by, anybody in the local area, anybody that wants to drive down from NorCal or fly in. We've got tons of people that are coming to the event. It's just basically something that spawned from me talking with Carol and Leslie. You know, obviously we all loved Aaron very much, and he impacted all of our lives in just numerous ways. And myself, like everybody else, once Aaron did pass, I gave it about a week, I think, to let Carol and Leslie and everybody kind of not get over it, but get some time behind them before reaching out and asking, when, where am I coming? Because I want to be part of this funeral or, memorial or whatever you guys are planning on doing. And to Carol and Leslie's credit, they, obviously this was a huge loss for them, and it's going to take years and years for them to, get past this. But they were just overwhelmed with the idea of putting something on, and if they did put something on, where they'd put it on, and how many people would come, and if it would get just too out of hand for them to handle. So it was stressing them out a lot, and they believe that a majority of the people that lived back east, near the Martens, were able to come see him prior to his passing, so that they'd kind of fulfill that part for everybody, in that side of the country out there. But, I, being a tournament director, being an event coordinator, I asked Leslie and Carol if I could please take that burden on for them to at least do something out here on the West Coast for Aaron. And basically, the Hog Snatcher benefit was spawned right after that conversation, when they said they'd be glad to have me do it, and would be happy for us to do it, because not only did Aaron mean a lot to us, but Wombass was where Aaron cut his teeth. ABA was probably one of the earliest organizations he fished with teams with Carroll and then Juan Bass. And we all know what happened after that. You know, he went on to have an amazing career. So basically what we've done is created a day. It's a gathering. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, Casitas, they have lots of restrictions on boats and getting a lot of concerns about that. But that's not what this is. This is a day to come tell story, you know, embrace each other, smile. We've got a ton of cornhole games set up. We've got banners that I've made with hundreds, if not hundreds and hundreds of photos that have been given to us through Bassmaster, through Sego Salto, through Juan Bass, and lots of other people, and Carol and Leslie sending photos. Literally, I think we had over 1,000 photos that we created some big banners with that we're going to line the grass area with so people could just walk by and remember those moments that Aaron had so much to do with in bass fishing, and not only here, but everywhere. And then there's been some really awesome things that have spawned off from that. I mean, originally when I started this, I started a group, the group page on Facebook, which is Hog Snatcher Benefit for Aaron Martens group. There's also an event page for the same thing. If you hashtag Hog Snatcher Benefit, you'll find everything that we've been doing the last couple of weeks to kind of make this event, you know, as big as possible. I started a GoFundMe page, which is also called the Hog Snatcher Benefit for Aaron Martens. The goal was to raise $20,000 to give directly to Leslie and the kids on December 18th. And we're somewhere close to $14,000 right now, only $6,000 away from that goal. So you can find that also at GoFundMe under Hog Snatcher Benefit. Donate to that. There's an explanation in the GoFundMe on exactly kind of what we're doing. Being out here in California, we have to be a little careful with how we use terms and so forth, because we're giving people opportunities to win some things that the sponsors have sent us. It's been overwhelming how much support for the event and for Aaron that we've gotten. You know, lots of product being sent to us that we're going to have there at the event to be given away to people who have donated, because there is no purchase necessary in order to have an opportunity to win some of these cool things that are coming. But, you know, if you donate, there are some opportunities that will come your way as well. And that's been rad, you know, and just reaching out to all the pros that fish Juan Bass and fish, you know, MLF and BASS, and all the people that cared about Aaron. We started asking a few guys like Rick Clunn and Mike Iconelli for jerseys that are signed so that we can maybe auction them off at the event, which has spawned into something that's even bigger than I thought it could be. But we're calling it the Great Jersey Drive. We have over 180 professional bass fishing tournament anglers who've committed to send in jerseys that are signed to directly affect Leslie and the kids. So the GoFundMe and talking with Bassmaster and everybody else who's you know really behind this and helping Aaron or Aaron's family, we're going to keep the GoFundMe open until March 11th, because Bassmaster wants to promote it for the next 2 months. So, you know, the GoFundMe is not going to end just because the event happens this weekend. We're going to continue the GoFundMe and try and build that as big as we can. The Jersey Drive, we're going to create a website called the hogsnatcherbenefit.com, where you'll be able to go in and place a bid on those jerseys. And that's going to probably stay open for a while, because we want to generate the most we can for Aaron's family, for Leslie and the kids, to support them in this time of need. And, you know, the support is just every day. I've been crying so much for the last 2 weeks because of the kindness and the generosity and the amount of effort that a lot of people are putting into this to support them. One of the things we did was a volunteer stepped up named Skeeter Johnson, young kid who does videography and wedding type things. And he took all the photos, some of the videos, and he made an hour-long tribute to Aaron, to music. And it was really hard to watch it. But at the same time, it was really satisfying to know that this piece and other pieces that people have put together is something that his kids will be able to remember him for the rest of their lives, and to tune in and see it and see how he touched all of us. So, for all those people that want to either come or donate or be a part of it, there's a number of guys that loved Aaron that are anglers and guides that have offered up guide trips, whether it's saltwater, freshwater. You can bid on those on the Hog Snatcher Benefit group page on Facebook. Go into the albums. We have all the swag that different people have donated that's going to be offered. We've got all the guide trips that are up available for auction right now, and those guys are all donating whatever proceeds are generated from those auctions to Leslie and the kids. 100% of everything we're doing is going to the kids. A&M Graphics had designed a sticker which says Aaron Martens, his birth date and his passing date, that we've made 1,300 of those stickers that we're selling for $20 a pop. We've got those on that group page as well. You can get a hold of Todd Woods to get a sticker to put on your bumper on your boat. And, we just want to make sure there's so many people doing some great things out there for Aaron. But the most important part is that whatever is done is directly affecting Leslie and the kids and impacting their lives to make it a little easier for them to survive this tough time.
All right.
Thank you, Billy.
That's great. That's great stuff, man.
You can find all the info. Like I said, just search Hog Snatcher Benefit on Facebook. Like I said, there's a group page for it. There's also an event page for it. It's updated there. You can find, if you scroll down, you can see the graphics for the stickers. You can see some of the stuff that's been donated. You can see the details for the upcoming event. And
yeah, we're gonna.
Dude, that's awesome that you're doing that.
I got a band, an up-and-coming band that's real new. They're awesome country music, and they're going to be playing from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock for 3 hours there. And, it's going to be a great day. Looks like we got some bad weather coming today and tomorrow, but it's going to clear up. Should give us a real nice weekend to have an event and a gathering. And just remember exactly how much Aaron meant to all of us.
All right, cool. Great job, Billy. And this event, obviously there's been, very few situations where us as an industry, us as a community has had to deal with such a loss like this. But he was a great person, great man, and what you're doing to recognize his life is outstanding. So kudos to you for putting this together, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's amazing. I keep just every day, everybody reminds me how great a community we're involved with. I mean, just the event itself had about $15,000 in expenses for all the little parts and pieces that we had to do, and the permits and lights and things that, bathrooms and things that you need to do. And through the generosity of our brotherhood, sisterhood in the bass fishing industry, all those expenses have already been donated by individuals. So there is no money that's not going to be going to Leslie from this event. And it's just amazing. So I want to thank everybody for being involved. If you want to get involved, go to Hog Snatcher Benefit group, go to the GoFundMe page. Everything and anything Hog Snatcher Benefit will lead you there. We're also going to do a memorial event at Castaic in sometime September this coming year, which is actually a team tournament, which will generate more fundraising for them as well. And I think, with the hogsnatcherbenefit.com website coming up soon, we'll be putting that video that was created up there. We'll be putting video from the event up there. And I think this is something that's hopefully going to turn into something that lasts a long time to support those guys.
All right. Billy, take care, man.
All right. Thanks, guys. Got to get the kids to school. Merry Christmas. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care, man. There you have it. Billy Egan, the man that makes things happen, and kudos to him for making this happen.
Yeah, that's no easy task to put something like that together, but obviously I think something that needed to be done.
Yeah. No, I agree. So make sure you check out all the stuff that's going on to benefit the Martens family, Leslie and the kids. And, man, that's just fantastic on what Billy has done. Do what?
We're going to have 2 trees. We're going to have a Christmas show in mid-December.
Well,
we had Billy.
Season,
we had Billy with his tree, and it appears, as I see in the queue, one of the 6 newest members of the 2022 Bass Pro Tour, Dylan Hayes, also has a Christmas tree in the background.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, talk to Dylan. Everybody stay tuned on a Monday.
Elite FS puts the full range of Lowrance fish finding tools at your fingertips. Find fish with active imaging 3-in-1 with Fish Reveal. Target fish with active target live sonar and watch fish react to your lure as it happens. Built-in C-Map Contour Plus charts make it easy to find key fishing areas. But best-in-class charts and powerful sonar is only the beginning. It's easy to build your fully networked FS system. From sonar and waypoint sharing to controlling the Ghost trolling motor and power poles. Lowrance Elite FS. Targeting fish just got easier.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning. Through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
Preparation is key to success. And that preparation starts well before you ever hit the water. You're only as strong as your connection to the fish, and your line is that critical connection. Confidence in your line every minute of every day on the water is a necessity, and failure, it's not an option. Sunline makes the fluorocarbon, nylon, and braided lines to give you the strength to guarantee your confidence.
I've made my living on the water for over 20 years.
For 14 years.
For over 23 years.
I've worn a bunch of different clothing brands over the years.
Some companies big,
and some companies small.
All of them said they were making clothing for us.
But none of them knew us.
None of them were us.
Except for one.
Except for one.
Except one.
AFCO.
AFCO.
AFCO. AFCO.
Fishing isn't part of us. It is us.
Everyone, Brandon Polnick here. People always be asking me what I got tied on. I'm like, X-Zone Lures. And they're like, Brandon, why you got X-Zone Lures tied on? And I'm like, let me show you why.
The bite.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, yeah. Oh, get in here. Oh, God. Giant. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
I think you get the point.
All right, we are back on a Monday. It's like my last regular Monday show, man.
Yeah, and then tomorrow will be your last regular Tuesday show. That's how that works.
Yeah, well, I was kind of reflecting back, even though my stomach was rumbling on the way home on the bus.
Reflecting back and projectiling up.
Yeah, it was not pleasant.
Let me just say, you're probably not the first person in the Norman area, being a college town, who has Ralphed on the side of the road late at night on a weekend.
Do you remember the restaurant Pinocchio's here in Norman?
It sounds familiar, but I never went there. I think it might have been a little bit before my time.
It went away, and they made an announcement they're bringing it back. And that was actually one of the places that I got food poisoning many, many years ago.
Well, that might
back
be
in
why
my
it
college
went away.
days. Could be.
Dylan just went away in the queue.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Hopefully he'll come back. Another thing, there was a statement in the comments that said, what is the time of the show moving? And that's not true. It's still going to be at 8:30, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some adjustments, especially during tournament weeks and stuff.
Yeah.
Let me say this. For the foreseeable future, as long as I'm in town and in studio, it'll be at 8:30 in the morning, and I'll be sitting here with Mark, and I might have a guest live via the Sunlight Hotline or on the show. I might have Brad here. I might have Jared Miller sitting here. I might not have anybody sitting here. But it's not, this is not going to be and trust me, I've put a lot of thought and planning into this, but I'm not changing the winning formula.
Mm-hmm.
We're number one. You've got us to number one. We've created a formula that works. Now, a big part of that formula is going to be coaching basketball and economics. But that being said, listen, I understand the familiarity, the routine, and things. And yeah, there's definitely going to be changes down the road as I tweak and try to find it and work with the listeners to see what works and what doesn't and the direction that this is going to be, because that dynamic between me and you is gone. But BTL is still here.
Yeah.
The formula of the show: entertain, educate, and engage. News in the professional bass fishing industry, interviews with people like Dylan Hayes, who is back in the queue with the Christmas tree in the background. That stuff is all going to stay the same.
Yeah.
Especially for the immediate future, as I try to navigate running the ship that you have dialed in.
Hey, by the way, he is right on the comments. The Pinocchios had the best breadsticks known to man. That is an absolute 100% correct statement. They were incredible. You see that?
Yeah.
Best breadsticks known to man. Absolutely.
Would his nose grow if it was a lie?
Pinocchio?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't he the one whose nose grew when he lied?
Yeah, you remember the Geico commercial?
Yes. All right.
All right, let's bring in our guest now. Dylan, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. The Christmas tree looking good, man.
Yeah, you like that?
It's looking good.
That time of year, you gotta be preparing for Santa Claus.
You got that thing loaded down. Is that a bow on the top of it?
It ain't really me. I got two little girls that pretty much did all that work.
I mean, that thing, you've got some of the, what are those called? The ornament, they're not snow globes. what are those little?
They're unbreakable ornaments.
Oh, those are the ones that can't smash if they shatter, if they fall.
Because they hit the floor every day.
If you're listening on iTunes, Dylan has a tree that is, it's immaculately decorated. But you have a lot to celebrate this holiday season, too. I just noticed that the roster for the 2022 Bass Pro Tour came out, and among it are a number of newcomers, including Dakota Eber, Cole Floyd, Claibion Johns, Jeremy Lawyer, Ryan Salzman, and you, Dylan Hayes. So congratulations on, I don't want to say making the move, because it's an addition to your 2022 schedule, correct, on the Bass Pro Tour, in addition to fishing the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit.
Earning a spot.
Yeah.
Great. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I've chose to fish both trails, and I think I'm one of 11 people actually doing both trails. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, it just doubles my platform and doubles the chances to win. And I'd rather fish, 15 or so events for $100,000 than 6 or 7.
Talk about the process of starting this year out. And I know, just to be completely honest, it kind of was muddy going into this year. Is it a 1-year average? Is it a 2-year average? How many guys are going? How many guys aren't? You've got a bunch of BPT guys that were fishing in the Angler of the Year standings. And the way it shook out, there were 9 BPT guys that ended up finishing ahead of you. You had a really solid year. You finished 18th in it. But at any point during the year where you were like, holy cow, I might have an opportunity to get an invitation to fish the BPT, or talk about that period where it was like, wait, dude, I'm kind of right there to have to make a major life choice.
Man, that's kind of funny how it all shook out. So when the Bass Pro Tour or Major League Fishing bought FLW 2-3 years ago, the rule read, how we all understood, was the top 10 in points on a 2-year average qualifies. And, like, to me, that was pretty black and white, cut and dry. That's it. And for the entire season, just about, I was number one. I was number one over everybody on just among the pro circuit anglers. The very last event, Ron Nelson caught me. But to finish the season, I'm on a 2-year average. I was number 2. And but on the second year, which was this past year, they invited some Bass Pro Tour anglers, and I'm not sure if they reworded the ruling or reinterpreted the ruling or what. Now, there wasn't really a whole lot I could do about it either way. But how they read it was your 2-year average, it trumped everything if you were inside the top 10. Well, my 2-year average was 13th. All right, so I'm out of the top 10. So that was, in their eyes, I'm out. Even though I was second among pro circuit anglers. And then either that, you could get in on your 2-year average, or your 1-year average had to be inside the top 10, where I was 18th. So I was out on that too. So I didn't know if I was going to get in, it was going to be because somebody dropped out at that point in time. And I mean, I guess it worked out. It worked out. I mean, I got in, and I'm looking forward for the opportunity.
And I think it worked out with Ron Nelson and then John Cox declining their invitations, which we haven't talked about. We'll talk about that in the second half. John Cox still going to fish the pro circuit, but also going to fish on the Elite Series, but not going to fish the BPT. I don't know what he's going to do with all of his free time. He's only fishing 15 tournaments now. Right. But talk a little bit about your last 2 years on the pro circuit, because you have really come into your own, not only with, I believe, a 10th and 11th place finish in the see, I'm slowing down because I have to remember all these new names. The Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit title. And then also 7 top 30s in just regular season competition. But you really seem to have kind of found a groove over the last couple years.
I don't even know I had 7 top 30s. It's a pretty interesting stat. But, man, I think it's just a lot of experience. And smarter choices. You know, I've had the last 2 seasons are probably my most consistent seasons, for sure. But my first 3 years, I had 3 top 3s, 1 second place, and should have won 2 of those. I did win a Toyota, which is a big deal. But I mean, I want to win a tour event, and the highest level I can. I just think as I get older and more time out there, I make smart decisions, and I know when it's time to maybe not swing, and it's time to just make sure you bring some stuff in to get your points on the end of the year. Little decisions like that matter. Or I know when to change. I know when to punt on practice, and just know when to adapt. And I think stuff like that really helps. I've also been guiding the last 2 years, so I spent a lot more time on the water. And guiding is honestly 10 times harder than fishing tournaments, man. Because fishing tournaments, at least I have control. When I'm guiding, I have to make sure that 10-year-old kid can catch one, or that 80-year-old man can catch one. So I have to find ways to catch easy fish, and no matter what, I mean, they're paying me every time. So I think a lot of that and having that mindset has helped me grow.
You mentioned the win in the Toyota Series. That would have been the end of 2019 on Lake of the Ozarks. That was kind of a sucky tournament. I don't know if you remember that one. It was not easy. I didn't fish it. I just remember following it, and it was kind of like low weight and not that great. But one of the things I remember on that is let's see if I can get this timetable right. You make the final day. You have a shot to win. You break a fish off with 3 minutes left. Right so far?
I just broke my bait off. I didn't break a fish.
Broke your bait off. You say, I got time for one more cast. You pick a plug up. You catch a 4-pounder.
5-pounder.
5-pounder. Didn't Didn't want to short you on that pound.
Yeah.
And you win the event.
Right. That was a hard tournament. We hadn't had any cold weather yet, so a lot of the fish weren't eating very good. I had caught a couple of really good ones in practice on a crankbait, and I had caught a couple there in years past. But I mean, out of 15 bass that I weighed that week, I think probably 13 of them came on a football jig, and that's what I did. And it wasn't easy. I was only getting 7 or 8 bites a day, kind of thing. That's on a good day. But I pulled up to my last little area. I had like an hour to go, probably not even that long, probably like 45 minutes to go, and I caught like a 3.5 pounder. I mean, I pulled up there with 3 fish, like 45 minutes to go, and I caught like a 3.5 pounder, and then like 10 casts later, I catch like just a keeper, like just a 2 pounder or something. So at least I had the limit, and but I didn't think I had a shot. I wasn't really in contention. I mean, I was down there like, I don't remember, like 6th or 7th, 8th place. I mean, I was
and you got there. Watson and Casey Scanlon ahead of you. I mean, guys who that's their lake.
Yes, some giant names in that tournament, and like for sure. That I was actually super proud to win that tournament because of all the big names, big Ozark names for sure. I mean, you got Lawyer, Roger Fitzpatrick, Rick Clun, Stacy King. I mean, there's some giant names in addition to the ones you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But I caught my 5th one. I mean, I bet you I didn't have 10 or 15 minutes to go, and there was one more spot. This goes back to experience, really. There was one more spot that I wanted to go fish again, and I was like doing the math. I was like, man, by the time I run over there and run back to check in, like I'm only gonna have time for like 2 or 3 casts. And I was like, Dylan, just stay here. Like we'll try to catch another one here. Well, this exact spot I was fishing, I caught like some good ones in previous trips up there, but I had not caught a fish there. Period. The whole week. Well, I'll just make a little move, run over there anyway, and hit it one more time. And I throw my football jig up there. And literally, I got like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes left, and I break it off. And I was like, I got time for 1 or 2 more casts, and I just picked up a big crankbait and threw it out there, and I hit my little piece of brush I was trying to fish, and it loaded up. And I told my co-angler, I said, dude, this is a big one. Like, I ain't playing. This is a big one. He's like packing his stuff up. I mean, it's time to go. I said, dude, I got a freaking big one. Like, I ain't joking. And it get it up there, and he nets it, and I didn't even have time. The crankbait fell off the fish in the net. I threw it in the live well. I had my smallest one marked. I threw it back. Man, I left the net in the floor. I left my spool, my button pressed on my reel, my crankbait in the net, strapped my stuff, pulled my troll motor up, and I ran back, and I checked in with like 35 seconds to go. But even then, it all happened so fast. Like, winning never crossed my mind. My co-angler, when I was running back, he said, dude, you might have a shot. I said, there ain't no way. I really didn't know what I had. It happened so fast. But that last fish, gave me another 3 pounds, and without that fish, I wouldn't have won for sure. But I told my co-angler, I said, man, I really don't think I'll have a chance to win. And I didn't. But I said, but you know what? Like, I had fished clean 1,000% this week. I haven't broke one off. I haven't missed one. Like, that is hard to do on a multi-day event like that. And I've said, man, like, when it's your time, it's your time. And you can't fight it. I mean, there's nothing else you can do about it. It's just going to happen.
You've been covering this game a long time, Mark.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen a fish catapult an angler's career?
There have been some iconic moments.
I can't help but think, I mean, look at the last 2 years with the stats that I rattled off before and how this went on. Do you think the next 2 years, 2020 and 2021, would have gone the same had you not caught that fish? Or do you think that gave you some sort of confidence, something that has allowed you to make better decisions the past 2 years that has put you in the position for success that you're in now? I mean, if I'm wrong here, just be like, yeah, no, I was a lucky fish, dude, and I still would have caught him.
Well, I mean, it was luck, but it does give me confidence. I also, I had a lot of confidence building into that tournament. I had like 4 top 10s that year, or 5 I had several top 10s that year. And I just was able to take that momentum of the win and keep rolling with it, I think. And then that combined with, picking up Warrior Precast as a title sponsor after that win and then starting guiding and just trying to keep it rolling. I mean, that's all you can ask for.
So, Dylan, let me ask you this, and I always like to touch bases, especially when anglers are moving up to the next level. What has the business side been like? What has it been like off the water?
Yeah, I've stayed on the phone and on my laptop more in the last month than I ever have in my entire life.
Really?
Yes, I have I have some new faces. I have some old faces still step up. I have some that didn't want to step up, and at this point in time, I feel like I'll never have a bigger platform than fishing 2 professional tours and momentum going. It's been good. It's been a great off season. I'm trying to get my boat rigged. Trying hopefully actually land a truck deal here in about an hour and get my truck wrapped.
All right. And have the first ever deal go down on live on BTL.
Yeah. I'm trying to order my jersey, but they keep changing logos and they won't let us order our jerseys yet. So a lot's got to happen in the next 3 or 4 weeks before we start. I think January 23rd. Mm-hmm. So I have a little time to put it together, but I have to just stay on it every single day.
Dude, you're like $65,000 in just on entry fees, right? $75,000 just on entry fees.
That's more than I paid for my first house, man.
That's more than you've paid me in the last 10 years combined.
Sure, I get it. Trust me, that's hilarious.
Wow.
But the way the Bass Pro Tour works, it's really cool because everybody gets a check every single tournament. If I go out there and I zero every single tournament, I'm only out like $10,000. So It's kind of like fishing that whole tour for $10,000. You just have to put it up front.
They just get your interest on it, right? Is that how that works, Mark?
Yeah.
That's a business question?
No, yeah. Time value of money there, man. It's a great concept.
Is that called the TVM theory? Do they use the acronym for that?
No. All right, Dylan, let everybody know out there, like the man that sits to my right, he is all about the spinning rod and reel. That's his jam. What would be your strengths from a tactics standpoint, and what do you feel like that you really need to work on based upon the schedule that's out there for this year?
Man, like I've said this a million times, I'm just as comfortable punching a mat with a super heavy flipping stick, whatever, ounce and a half weight, as I am out there in 50 foot catching a smallmouth with a drop shot in 5 foot waves.
Okay.
And I truly am. And I don't have a favorite way. My favorite way is the one they're biting. It doesn't matter. I think at this point you have to be versatile, and everybody is. Most people are anyway. I don't have a special technique or a special tactic. I just don't. And as far as like what I need to work on, I just can't sit here and tell you there's one technique that I just need to go do. I live in a very versatile state.
Mm-hmm. Hot Springs is. You've got clear, muddy, everything.
Grass.
Yeah, I have. Lake Ouachita and Lake Hampton, they're both clear Highland reservoirs. Then I can drive an hour. I can be on the Arkansas River. I can drive another hour. I can be on Millwood and this mats. And, I can drive 4 hours and be on Rayburn or Fork or, and fish grass. And so I've grown up like that. I grew up fishing swamp. River bottom, cypress trees, stuff like that. Actually, where we're going, it's kind of cool. I am looking forward. Our very first stop is about an hour from where I grew up. I'll get to sleep at my grandma's house all week.
Oh, that's wow. Cool. Lake T-Bone or something?
Darbone.
Oh, okay.
Darbone. T-Bone.
but it is interesting. I bet you I have driven over Lake Darbone 1,000 times, and I've only been on it one day. There was never any big tournaments there. It's like, why would I go there? And so, but it's okay. I'll be home. I'll have a lot of family and friends that can come watch. And I have been on Caney a few times. Bussy just opened. I've never seen it, but I am excited to be able to fish an event real close to home.
I think he'll be just fine, Mark. You know why?
Why is that?
If he can guide a 10-year-old novice on Hamilton and Ouachita in August, he can go down. He can catch a few fish.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's amen on that.
Yeah.
I've got another stat here, and I want to throw this out, and I think it's really interesting. And I think I've done my homework here correctly. But you have to be one of the few anglers. Now, you did fish, and I'm going to try to maybe add another notch to your belt here. You did fish some college back in the day.
1 year.
Did you fish the national championship?
I did not.
Okay, well, yeah, that doesn't count then.
Yeah, new subject.
You have fished the TBF National Championship, the All-American, the Toyota Championship, and the Pro Circuit Championship, a.k.a. the Forest Wood Cup, whatever you want to call it. I would imagine that's a pretty small group of guys who have fished all four of those things in their career, and you're, what, 35?
34.
34. That's pretty impressive resume for a 34-year-old, Mark.
Yeah, I agree.
Appreciate that. It'd be more impressive if I would have won one of them.
Right, but what do you think it is that has allowed you to qualify for so many championships at so many levels? Is it what has allowed you to do that consistency? Because that's catching fish over a long period of time, not just home running at one tournament and sucking in the next three. So and this is what I'm striving for fishing the opens is I'm searching for that consistency, right? To make the championships, to qualify for stuff. So talk a little bit about what you think in your makeup has allowed you to qualify for all of those championships from the local to regional to national levels.
Man, like that's the hardest part of this game is being consistent for sure. But I mean, to sum it up, it's just like anything else that anyone's ever, good at or whatever. I've just been obsessed with it my whole life. I mean, since I was, 10 years old. I mean, I've read every magazine cover to cover and watched everything. When live came out and you just sit there and watch live footage, trying to soak it up and be a sponge and just learn. My parents and coaches growing up instilled a very good work ethic to me. So I worked my tail off out there. Like, I'm not sleeping in. I'm not getting off early. Perfect example, Cherokee a couple of years ago. I finished third at that tournament. I lost the 5-pounder the day 3 that cost me winning that tournament. You want to talk about one cast stuff? That's one cast I wish I had back. But all practice, I struggled. I'm talking about struggle. And I had about an hour and 15 minutes of practice left. I'm talking about this was like 7 o'clock at night. And I knew what I was doing was not going to work. Like, it was just not going to work. I picked my troll motor up and I drove like 20 miles up the river. I was like, I got to find something. And I landed on the school of fish that I should have won on. I mean, I caught a 5-pounder and shook like 2 more off. And like, I don't know how many other bites I had that afternoon of practice. But what I'm trying to say is all my roommates were back home already, getting ready for the week. It's 8 o'clock at night. And practice is over like 8:15. And I just found the school of fish that, I should have won off of. But just work hard and be a sponge and trust in God, man. Like, you can't take that away. He's really in control. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's what I try to do. A lot of family support, sponsor support. You can't be out there stressing about family or sponsors, and you just have to fish free and comfortable and in the moment.
Yeah. Do you know what your wrap's going to be yet for your boat?
Oh, it's going to be Warrior Precast again as the title wrap.
Okay. Hopefully you get the truck deal, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You'll find out in 47 minutes now, Dylan.
Yeah. I know.
You better get your spiel down.
Yeah. No, that's
always been the hardest deal for me to nail down for some reason. But I actually got 2 different people supposed to call me today. So hopefully between the 2 of them, somebody wants to go for it.
All right, man. Well, best of luck to you. That's quite the impressive climb up. Getting to the next level and really what you've done so far in your career at such a young age. We will definitely be keeping an eye on you on what you do in 2022 and wish you the best of luck, man.
I sure appreciate it. I've enjoyed being on the show.
All right. Take care, man. Have a great Christmas. Nice tree, too.
Thank y'all. Y'all as well.
Yeah, impressive tree. All right, man. Take care, Dylan.
Tree.
All
right. See you. There you have it, Dylan.
Everyone has a tree. We've got a fern.
I don't think we've never had a
Christmas
tree.
We've got a plant and we've got a fern.
We've never had a Christmas tree in the studio.
See, now I'm going to have to be responsible for this stuff starting next. Like, if I want to change that fern, I believe I can change that fern, right?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to. Yeah, change it out. It's not a fern. It's cattails. It's some kind of cattail.
What is this, then? Rhubarb?
Right,
is that rhubarb?
I don't know what that is. It's kind of like a banana tree, sort of banana leaves, but not really. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, man, you can decorate, change the color. You can come in with paint, change the. I know Kumar, he was like saying you got to change the green to whatever.
I don't know. That's a lot of work. You got this thing dialed in. Now, before I thought you just would randomly do this, but as I've tried to educate and learn myself, I've realized that there's a reason for it with the lighting, the frame, where the lights are positioned, the colors of the background, what is on the background. Like, I think we probably watched the same YouTube video on designing the backdrop for. Because I'm like, wait, Jeffries has done that. But no, I'm not changing anything for the first couple months.
Doesn't matter.
I was just busting your chops there.
Real quick, I do want to mention this. We've had some issues with Spotify.
Yeah, what is with that? That's your issue for another.
It's taken care
12 days.
I want to let everybody know that I did receive confirmation. We have a checks and balances in place now to make sure that the Spotify does not only.
What was actually happening? It was just uploading like 18 minutes.
It's the communication between the provider and Spotify.
Communication between.
Yeah, because you have to have a provider that we upload the files to, and then that provider distribute it to everyone. So there was an issue between the communication between the provider and Spotify. Now we have a procedure in place to where if that does happen again, then I email the HTML file to the provider, and they get with Spotify, and it gets taken care of. So
that sounds exciting.
It is what it is. Some of the technical stuff that you will come to, and there's no book. I mean, that's just digging in and finding out what's going on.
So here's the way I explained it. Don't take offense. This is actually a compliment to you. I was explaining it to someone, and I said, okay, so like I've been with you for what 13, 14 years.
Longer than that.
And I learned how to update. I built an entire website, the College Bass Zone. Remember that?
Yeah.
And that was that using what, HTML?
Yeah, that was back in the front page days.
Oh, yeah, and front page, and then through the whole Firewire and the live streaming and like the rendering and everything. So every time there's been something. But here's how I explain to someone like how Jeffries does it, because you have to, like, if you don't have a real passion for it, you give up. That's why, like, most podcasts and everything average 4 shows and they're done.
Just tapping out.
That's where in fishing, that's in life, that's in anything.
Yeah.
Bowling, woodworking,
tapping out,
golf, hockey,
tapping out.
So I'm gonna take a page out of Uncle Frank's book and do a diagram. So imagine a block, an empty block, and you build your house on a block, right? You've got your house, and there's no other houses around it. You follow? Okay. And to get to your house, you turn into your neighborhood, but because nothing is developed, you have to take the 3 lefts to get to where your house is. And you get there. It takes a little extra time, but you take the 3. Well, then they build a road that goes, right in front of your house there. You could turn into the neighborhood and go straight to your house, but you're still used to taking the 3 lefts.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like some of your stuff, you have like you take a couple extra lefts, and you're just like, man, I get there, I'm comfortable, I know how that's done. So I have to learn how to take those extra lefts.
No, I get that. Sometimes, yeah.
I'm not saying it's a compliment because you figure it all out on your own. But sometimes I'm like, what do you mean you have to close this page within 5 seconds before it reloads and then hold the Alt button and click this? And then I'm like, I don't feel like that. I feel like you might be able to drive straight instead of take the two lefts.
You might, but a lot of that stuff, Matt, is just through self.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the compliment
self-taught
is it's amazing how you're willing to sit there and stay with it until it's right. Until it's right. And that's how you've always been since I've known you in 2007.
I went to lunch with Brent Conway.
Oh, you did?
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
okay.
He called me up and he was like, hey, man, let's go grab some lunch. I hear you're retiring. And for those that may not know, Brent was actually involved in the early stages. I mean, 20, 25 years ago. And he was actually him and Keith Blackstone. And I don't think Glenn was with us. He might have been, but I don't remember Glenn Cunningham. We were at the Classic at Orlando, and we were staying at one of the hotels on the Disney grounds, I guess is what you call it, the Disney complex. Anyway, I could not figure out, and we had some problems in rendering the videos that we were doing. And I stayed up all night, and still could not get it figured out. Finally got it figured out at like 7 a.m, and there's Conway rolling out of bed going, you need any help? That was the first thing he said to me when he woke up. Rolled out of bed and said...
You let him go to bed? You never let me go to bed. I had to sit...
It was just like, I'm going to bed.
The one that I remember was, and I'm sure we'll go over this on your final show on the 20th, but the Smith Mountain Lake one was an absolute debacle.
Is that the one that we were staying in the high-rise?
We were staying in the high-rise. I believe there was an angler staying with us. Was Dean Rojas staying in the same place with us back then?
Yeah.
And Harold was there, and I was there. And I remember you had major issues. And
that was a great condo, though.
It was fantastic. It had windows that overlooked.
Yeah.
We actually were able to watch one of the top 10 guys bed fishing right in front of the condo from there, but had a ramp and everything. But I just remember that was like a 1 or 2 hour a night sleep.
Yeah, that was not good. That was
like, dude, I should be able to get this streamlined to where I don't have to.
We don't have those issues
recreate any of the old days.
Yeah, we don't have those issues.
Don't
anymore.
even say that. Is there any
cork
or wood or anything to knock off back there?
Two reasons. One, the technology has gotten a lot better, and the process has gotten a lot easier. So better product, easier process. Hence, that's a combination for not creating those all-night situations.
And listen, we'll just say it. Here's the game plan. The game plan is like you're letting me use the studio still. It's not like you're like, hey, good luck.
No.
And that's for the next year or two. And like I said, we have a lot to hash out. But I also, I'm also moving closer to the studio in January,
which is good
part
thing.
of the just life stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll be 20, 30 minutes from the studio, and part of the reason why that move is happening is it's a house that I have the ability to build my own studio in.
Yes.
So as the transition happens and it becomes easier and easier, we'll still maintain this as the home base, particularly for the first year, first 6 months, and then slowly, because this stuff isn't cheap. It doesn't grow on trees. It's not, someone just doesn't gift you a BTL studio.
Yeah.
Slowly add piece by piece to where I'll be able to then go live whenever I want and upload whenever I want and do whatever I want from the comfort, of my own home. Just walk across from the bedroom to the studio,
which is
things
cool.
that way. Then the other thing, because I don't think we want to go over this on the 20th. We have a little bit of time because we still have a lot of news we need to go over here. Mark, is yes, I am fishing all 9 opens, and I understand how important the live element is to the show. And I don't know if you even know this. Maybe I should say this off air, but there also is going to be a transition period where BTL is 100% my first focus, because without BTL, there was no fishing, right? Like BTL, or the fishing is the result of BTL.
Yeah.
Like, listen, when you look Kevin Van Dam in the eyes and say, hey, I'm trying to, what he said, don't lose BTL. That needs to be, that is your difference maker. When I talked to him at the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from my sponsors, from our sponsors, from a number of people. Like, that's the deal. But that being said, I'm also not going to sacrifice when I am at the like when it is the tournament time, then I just suck at everything. Now I'm stressed out for BTL. I can't do that. I'm not focused on the tournament, right? So there might be in some early times, we might do some pre-recorded shows. We might do some live shows. There might be some shows that aren't live but go out that same day. There might be live shows with video. It just really depends on the circumstances around that. There will still be 4 shows a week and Uncle Frank and all that, but you know what? An open, if it's a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night, it's a lot easier to take the mobile stuff and record a show at someone's camper or at the Starbucks or the Barnes and Nobles or whatever you do, then go back, post-produce it, and it's still out there, but we just lose the live element on that. But that, like, is one of the elements that I've talked to a lot of people, including professional anglers who do a lot of video work, where they're like, dude, like, you got to do what you have to do to keep your sanity while still providing quality content. Is that fair, Mark?
No, it is. It's a balance.
100%.
And I've always said that. And you know, one of the things, and I had a lot going on. You know, I've had multiple projects going on,
right?
But you have to prioritize everything and understand the planning process on how to prioritize what's going on and what drives what you have going on now and in the future. And remember, dude, you're the one that came up with it. Just apply the hub and spoke thing.
Yep.
All right? This is your hub right here. And everything else extends from that hub, of which success comes from all parts of the extension of that hub. So one of the cool things that I think, and I'm going to really, I'm excited for you to see some of the live stuff that you're able to do at the open events. You know, especially if you're rooming with Hallman and you guys
when it's applicable. I can't promise any of that now, because when it's it might not be the first one or two. Like, this is
you got to get things established and understand what's going on. But that gives you and gives this show an edge, because there's nobody else that's really at this level able to broadcast live from those events.
And that's what I'm saying. There's
place.
A difference between just clicking on a live and doing an Instagram live and maintaining the professionalism, the studio feel, the production value, the sponsor value, the feedback that is BTL. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, everyone's like, well, all these guys, can go live there. But listen, like, it's important to me to maintain the quality and the feel for content. BTL and the content that you've designed. Anyway, that was a personal conversation that we just had on air.
No, we had talked about that and discussed that a little bit anyway. But once again, it's continuing the brand, continuing the process of the brand, and continuing the success of the brand that Matt's going to run with. It's it's kind of weird when you look through the evolution, and I'm sure we'll mention this a week from today, but the way that this whole thing has evolved is crazy. And I'll never forget, and I wish somehow, some way, I was able to get a hold of this guy. But there was a dude, his name was Matt Fishman. You ever heard me tell you about this guy?
I'm not familiar with the Fishman.
Matt Fishman, all right, Fishman was his actual name.
But he said Fishman, not Fishman.
He said Fishman. He made sure he corrected me on that. I go, oh, the Fishman. He was the executive at XM Radio that reached out to me and Judici when this whole thing went from an AM radio station
to the XM show.
And there were some people that he knew that was involved in the industry somehow, some way, had heard about what me and Gary were doing, and Matt Fishman was the guy that reached out.
Hey, we want fishing on the sports or whatever.
Yeah. And he was trying to create an outdoor block. Because at the time, they were the only satellite radio. Sirius, the merger didn't take place, and they were kind of in a battle a little bit, and XM wanted to create an outdoor block on, I don't even remember what channel it was. And Fishman was the first guy to reach out to us. We were the first ones that they wanted to get on this outdoor block. And
this is early stages of Sirius XM.
This is like long time ago. And
this is when people were still trying to figure out what XM was. Sirius or XM.
Yeah. So Fishman was the one that really kind of pushed Gary and I, and then we had Mike Holt, who is retired in the Bahamas now.
He always smoked cigarettes and wore a brown leather jacket. And
Mike,
that's him, right?
That's him.
I mean, a bomber jacket.
Yeah.
Like a straight up bomber jacket and always burning a dart.
Yeah. Mike Holt was the producer of the show, and he was meticulous at everything about this show. It was post-production, and the job that Mike did.
So you didn't have to do any of that. He did that. You guys would.
No, me and Gary just showed up.
Would sit down. That's where that's my goal.
Yeah.
To grow BTL enough to where I can have someone that does some back end stuff that allows me to focus. I was talking with Dave about this.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not on it. You're a one man band, but the goal would be grow enough to have a little bit of that back end so I can focus more on the content.
We have not talked about this, but I'm going to give you a tip. All right. You need to go through the cycle. All right. And the cycle that I went through, think about this. Now, since you're going to be a little bit closer to the studio, a little bit closer to the resources, you know what you need to get?
An intern.
You need to have that meeting. All right. At the
I
restaurant.
thought about that, but here's the thing. I would rather have an intern when I at least know what my intern needs to do.
What
so
did you
I was
do?
thinking, but I was sorting photos and stuff. But I need to get that intern. But I was thinking more on the technology side than the fishing side.
But they are so readily available now, dude.
I know, but also I need to give it 6 months.
You think
to
so?
where it's the fall semester? Yeah, I think it with everything that there's going to be the transition period where you learn an incredible amount in the first couple months, and you're like, here's what gets done today, and I can't worry about what I have to do tomorrow today, and then you
internships are golden now, man.
Right,
they really are, and the university that both of us graduated from has an incredible
football coach.
That too, broadcast journalism school. Of which there are a ton of people that
are
looking
that's
for internships.
That's 100% on the list. Hey, let's finish up this news before we get before you have to get out.
We need to dive into the thing that we talked about before the show on tomorrow's show.
Oh, that's tomorrow's show?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that tomorrow with Jared.
We only got like 5-10 minutes.
I do want to mention another Auburn angler following the heels of the rich tradition that Auburn bass fishing has. Shane Powell, one of those names, I don't personally know him, but he is well known in the industry. Fished with Jordan and Matt Lee at Auburn, won the Bassmaster Team Championship. Kind of a hometown deal, about an hour from his home where he grew up in Alabama. And that's the deal where they make the top, and then you fish against your buddies and everyone else for kind of like a fish-off deal.
Yeah.
So he is in the Lake Hartwell Classic, and the Classic field is now 100% set, I believe. But Shane Powell... another one of those two. I mean, dude, there's just so many guys right there in that central Alabama, and they just keep pumping them out. So not a, I mean, obviously he's a dark horse.
Yeah.
But not an unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what Matt Robertson did, going from the team championship to now a force to be reckoned with in style, fashion, and fishing prowess.
Yeah.
So congrats to Shane.
Yeah.
I thought Dylan was a good interview. Like, were you not impressed with him?
He's got some game, man.
Yeah.
Be interested.
I mean, that's a heck of a, I mean, look at that resume. That's a lot of stuff that you've done before you're 34, right?
No doubt. Be interesting.
And now,
to see
he's
how
fished
he
at every
does.
level.
Yeah. It's
Collegiate,
a lot of money,
BFLs, Toyotas.
What do you say, 75 grand?
Yeah. But I don't understand why I get that. Then you it would be like if I gave you money and then you
I paid you back.
Just paid me back. Like, look at how much you're making here, and it's like, yeah, but I gave you that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how much interest do you earn? Like, if you collect $1.5 million or whatever, $2 million and put it in something and then slowly pay it back. Like, how much are you?
It depends on what you want to do with it. I mean, interest rates are minimal.
Is that the only reason they're doing that? I mean, Bassmaster did it, remember?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're fishing entry fee and we'll pay you back every time. But like,
obviously they have something going on with the float, is what I call it. You know? So, there's some financial leverage there somehow, some way. I don't think they're going out buying Bitcoin with it.
That would be awesome if you got paid in Bitcoin.
Might happen in the future, though. I seriously, I mean, think about that. If you have 100 guys at 75 grand a piece, what is that? Quick math.
Hold on.
7.5 million?
Everyone's got a...
is that 7.5
You got to hit the intro music again. We're about to lose it.
No,
what is it?
75.
No, they're not paying 75 grand just for one. That's for both tours combined.
Oh.
So, like, let's just say it's whatever.
55. Use 55.
No, use 35.
Well, how much is the Elite Series?
5
It's
grand.
7.5 million. 75,000 times 100 is 7.5 million. Just moving decimals is all I'm doing. Yeah. So, yeah, they probably make a little money on 7.5 million. But like I said, I don't think they're being risky with it. It'd be stupid if they were. You know, or might be a genius move. I don't know. It is what it is. Anyway, great show. Want to thank Billy Egan for coming on, talking about the benefit that has taken place for Amart and his family, Leslie and kids, Carol Martens, over the weekend. So make sure you go to the Facebook group. Remember what it was? I didn't write
Hog
it down.
Snatcher benefit.
Yeah, there you have it.
And I hope you feel better and get over the food poisoning
gosh.
100%. You were a little cranky when I got in the studio this morning. I was like,
just
oh my gosh, it's
don't
one of
feel
those
good.
days.
No,
and then I
don't feel
realized you're not 100%. But you pulled
Not
it together
yet.
for the show and gave an admirable performance in your last regular season Monday show.
All right. Jared Littner tomorrow, folks. That's it. We're out of here.